is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another day of our Devastation Previews. This is the first day of week 2 of official previews, and I'll tell you, last week I was very impressed with what we saw. This set is shaping up to be pretty amazing, and we got some more interesting cards to look at today. Now, quickly before we get started, if you check out the description below, you'll find a couple ways to help support the channel, one of which is our Amazon affiliate store. If you make any purchases there, a small percentage will come back to help us out. And secondly, you'll also find our Patreon page linked below. Both are always appreciated. Having said that, let's get into today's cards. And we're going to start off with a token, actually, from a card we talked about on Friday, Resilient Kenra. They revealed the card Friday. Over the weekend, they showed the token. So I thought it looked kind of sweet. I wanted to show it to you, but that's all about this one. Let's move on to the new cards, and we'll begin with Overwhelming Splendor. 2 white and 6, enchantment or a curse mythic enchant player. Creatures enchanted player controls lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1. Enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. Okay, so I guess first and foremost, this is a commander card. This is a nice subtle way to tell your friend that you hate their commander deck, basically. So you sit down at a table, and once you get up to 8 mana, you're kind of like, here you go, my friend that plays slivers, enjoy this. So, I don't know. I thought it's kind of funny in some ways. Now, keep in mind, this isn't going to be super hard to get rid of in Commander. A lot of players are going to have answers for enchantments or artifacts/enchantments, right? So this can easily be disenchanted, naturalized, Nature's Claim, whatever. Someone will have an answer for this. It's not a great card to play like early on in the game because by the time it matters, they'll find a way to get rid of it. This is a good card to put down when you're thinking about taking a player out maybe, or it's just between you and the other player, and it gives them limited time to find an answer for it. Also, if you play this early in the game, you kind of look like a bully, and sometimes you'll get some backlash for that too. I mean, this really kind of decimates one person's game plan for sure, and it turns into a mini game of trying to find an answer for this card before they can continue. So it's interesting. As far as limited goes, is this playable? Well, it's definitely not a high pick for me, considering it's an 8 casting cost card. Maybe if I was in a matchup that was really slow and grindy and was going really deep in my deck, maybe I board this in like game 2 or game 3, I don't know. But for the most part, this isn't something that's high on my list to try to pick up in limited, even though it does have a great effect if I can actually get it out. Next we have Champion of Wits, a blue and 2 Naga Wizard 2/1. This one's a rare. When this enters the battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. Eternalize for 2 blue and 5. Well, if this Eternalize cost was a little cheaper, I feel like this could be a good competitive standard card. The way it stands now, I'm a little underwhelmed. I think the Eternalize cost is just too high. Paying 3 for 2/1, that doesn't feel good, even though I get a double loot out of it. And I don't know, maybe in the future, post-rotation, there might be some decks desperate to get through their deck quicker, and that double loot could actually come in handy, but I don't know, that's kind of a long shot. There's also a chance maybe in this next meta that there's enough discard spells to really push something like a Madness strategy into the forefront. But again, I think I'm going kind of deep there. For the most part, I think this is a limited card, but it's a good one. Like, I'm happy to play this in limited. I could even see myself first picking this in a draft. And again, if I happen to open this in sealed, I'm probably pretty happy with it. Simply, yes, again, 2/1s aren't exciting, but the 2/1 with a double loot feels pretty good, and the Eternalized cost is much more accessible in a game of sealed or draft. And if that's the case, then I get to bring this back as a 4/4, draw 4 cards, then discard 2. That's actually kind of sweet. So yeah, I do think this is fantastic in limited, maybe not quite there for standard. Next we have a Japanese language spoiler, loosely translated, Emit Eternal. 2 black and 2, it's a zombie crocodile demon, of course. It's a rare. Afflict 3. Whenever an opponent casts the spell, put a -1/-1 counter on this. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, remove all the -1/-1 counters from it. It's a 5/5. So, first off, let's talk about limited. I think this is another great limited pickup. A 5/5 for 3. Now, think of it this way, though. I play this on turn 3. My opponent's probably going to play a spell, and I get back to my turn as a 4/4 creature. It has Afflict 3 though, so I tack in, I rumble, my opponent's got a decision to make. They either take the 5 or take the 4 and have this go back to being a 5/5, or they chump block and take 3. That's probably what they're going to do, and hope that this thing can whittle itself down over the next few turns. but you're getting some damage across. You're maybe making your opponent lose a couple creatures in the process. Like, all that for 3 mana feels super economical. Like, I really like that. So again, I feel like this is a high pick for me in Limited, in Draft, I should say. And again, I think it's really good in Sealed. Now, what about Standard? I do like it early on. Like, it's a nice early Standard play. I have concerns, though, late game. Like, I feel like this becomes a lot worse in the late game. 3 mana, 5/5 without evasion. That's probably at least going to be a 4/4, maybe even potentially a 3/3 when it comes back to my turn. That doesn't feel so good anymore, even with the Afflict 3. So I do think this is maybe a little shaky for Standard, although I do want to reserve judgment a little bit on this one until I get a chance to kind of test it and play with it a little bit, because it is intriguing. Next we have Unraveling Mummy. A black, white, and 1. It's a zombie, uncommon 2/3, and you can pay a white and 1. Target attacking zombie gains lifelink till end of turn. Black and 1. Target attacking zombie gains death touch till end of turn. Card's pretty cool, again, for limited purposes. Drafting a tribal zombie deck, or if you happen to get a lot of good zombies in your sealed pool, this card will be very playable, will be very good for you. As far as Standard goes, of course, we have seen black-white zombies. Does that deck want this? Maybe a copy or 2. I don't know if it wants to take anything else out, though. I feel like it has some better things in there. Then the second question is this card worth playing black-white zombies over mono-black zombies? I don't think the answer to that is yes. So I don't know if this card is going to have much of an impact, if any, on Standard, honestly. But again, another really good limited card. And again, if you're into zombie tribal for like Commander or something like that, great card for you there, too. Next, we have Refuse to Cooperate. This was the professor's preview card from Tulare Community College. And if you watched his preview videos before, probably most of you have, if not all, they are amazing. This one, no exception. He pulls out all the stops when he gets a preview card and does some awesome stuff. So check it out. I won't give anything away, but it's pretty incredible. Anyway, so the card itself, the Refuse section, a red and 3 instant rare. Refuse deals damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's converted mana cost. Cooperate, a blue and 2 instant aftermath. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Now for 4 mana, I'm not super excited about this in competitive formats like Standard, because in those formats, everyone's playing the most economical cards, right? Yeah, there's a few expensive ones here and there, but for the most part, they're playing as many cheap cards as they can get away with. So you're not going to get much of a punch out of that first part. Cooperate's interesting because it is a fork, and forks can be good a lot of times just in random situations. But the only problem is, again, when it comes to competitive Magic, then you're depending on something else happening for that to be good, and that can get a little murky for you. So I don't really see it there. I am intrigued by the fact that I can pay 5 and not only damage my opponent based on whatever spell they're playing, but then fork it. That's actually kind of cool. But again, the stars have to align just right for that to work for you. Now, other formats, though, this is interesting. Definitely Commander, where people do play big spells, like doing damage and then forking something at some point, if not at that time later, could be really good. Like, I could see that being excellent in Commander, and I'd want to play around with this card there for sure. Other than that, limited, maybe. I don't see myself main decking this necessarily. It just depends on what my opponent's playing. You don't want to have this in your deck and then go up against like an aggro, like red-black deck or something, right? But if you end up in a more grindy game and your opponent's trying to play some big things later in the game, I don't know, maybe it's worth boarding in, but again, that's not going to happen all too frequently, I don't think. If nothing else, though, this is a good Commander card. Having said that, those are the cards for today. So this is the second official week of previews, which means we'll have another video tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, much like this one, recapping everything we see every 24 hours. And then on Friday, we'll begin our full set review, because the whole set will be out by Friday morning, and we'll get a look at all the cards. We'll begin our review with all the white cards as we normally do, work our way through the set. Also, typically when I do a set review that weekend, I skip our weekly Market Watch video. However, I know those videos are very important to folks that are trying to keep up with the market, so I am going to try somehow, some way, to work in a Market Watch video over the weekend as well. So hopefully that will still happen. And I'm also working on a special edition of the Market Watch. So there might be a couple days where I'll do 2 videos, not only the set review, but some other material as well. So just wanted to make that note for anyone who's interested. But hey, until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.